Independent horror is a popular genre that has produced some amazing films over the years. You can do a lot with a horror production and not a lot of money. Enter director Jill Gervargizian. Or is it Jill Gervar... fuck it. She also goes by Jill 6, and that's how we will reference the filmmaker from now on. Jill 6 has been doing hair for years now, and she bravely takes a stab at a feature film based on her 2016 festival darling, The Stylist, with a 2020 feature update with the same name. The short film had a really interesting premise about a serial killer hairstylist, and the feature film adds a nearly 2-hour extension of that. From a technical standpoint, the film is bulletproof. The camera work, production design, costumes, makeup, excellent. There is a particularly gorgeous scene in a women's restroom that looks like a visual nod to the Neon Demon or Suspiria. The score is minimal, but efficient. All the actors do the best with the material they are given. Being a native from Kansas City, it was nice to see that this film was shot in Kansas City, and it wears its Midwestern dressing on full display. The practical makeup effects by Colleen Kaufman are fantastic. I was one of the Kickstarter backers on the film, so my reward was a private link to view the completed film.
It's time to get serious.
Claire Najara Townsend is the titular character. Olivia, one of Claire's regular customers, is about to get married and begs Claire through text that she needs a hairstylist for her wedding. She's about to be married to Charlie, played by the horribly underused Davis DeRock. Claire sees their interaction as more than a business transaction and begins a descent into becoming a stalker of Olivia. Make no mistake, this movie is about Claire, and she has a ton of screen time in this story. She is lonely, tragic, and heart-achingly beautiful. So is it any good? That truly depends on your perspective and your taste. Watching this film to me felt like watching an attractive woman go out to a bar, get drunk, and talk about her ex for 2 hours, crying occasionally. If that sort of setup excites you, then this film will be right up your alley. With that said, there are going to be some major spoilers. If you do not want major plot points ruined, then please click away from this video. This movie has the limited point of view of Claire. We spend a lot of time with her. If you happen to look at a site called TV Tropes, Claire, to me, hits all the check boxes of the cute and psycho trope. What is that, you might ask? Quote, cute and psycho is a trope that describes characters who are genuinely cute in both appearance and mannerisms, but have a completely batshit crazy side. End quote. On a surface level, that's a pretty accurate description of Claire. By the time we meet her in this film, she has already killed before. She has a sleep-inducing drug in the wine ready to go. She peels the scalp off as good as Hannibal Lecter. She's experienced at this. So watch out, right? I'm all on board with that. Najara Townsend picks up this film and carries it on her shoulders right until the very last shot. I saw the ending a mile away, but that doesn't take away from the impact. Plus, I watch a lot of fucked up movies. Don't judge me. What does one see in this kind of story? Claire wants control of her life. She wants control of her dark desires. But people keep getting in the way of that. It would be easy to say that Claire is like a broken doll. She has so many cracks under her surface, if she were to fall over, she might shatter into 1,000 pieces. The doll-like exterior is a facade for a psychopath. We've seen this character before, but this is the 2020 version of that. It would be harder to see Claire in a realistic perspective. Just give her an ounce of Granddaddy Purple and chill that bitch out. But then there would be no movie. My only complaints are that we spend so much time with Claire it starts to get a little boring. The middle act of the film just feels like filler. This is just a matter of taste, but I wanted to see more of Olivia and Charlie. Notice that a lot of Olivia's scenes were simply text coming through. It would have been nice to see more of her. There is also a scene where Olivia and Claire are talking and Charlie comes home, but we don't even see their interaction. Charlie interrupts Olivia, saying that he's tired, and Claire gets angry and leaves, but that's it. That's the only tense moment we see between them. And interestingly enough, Charlie is off screen. It's not the same setup, but think Fatal Attraction. There's a tense scene with Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, and Ann Archer all in the same room. Without even knowing the context of the scene, you can sense the tension on the expressions. There is so much said with looks. I know, technically it's an older movie and it might not hit everyone the same. But the point is, if you have good actors, use them. And the stylist may have had some scheduling issues and is not able to get all the actors together. But for fuck's sake, make it happen somehow. I've seen Bree Grant, Davis DeRock, and Najara Townsend in other films, and they're all excellent actors. I guess the main takeaway is that while Jill Six was wise to let scenes play out in long takes, much like Milos Forman and David Fincher might do, many of the scenes are Claire just alone, crying, and in her thoughts. That seems to be the point, but I feel there was a lot of untapped potential that was wasted. Still, the movie overcame many obstacles, finding funding and giving filmmaker Jill Six the opportunity to make more films in the future. This isn't a perfect film, but makes me interested to see what she does in the future. I will keep my scissors crossed.